What's up, guys? So I want to talk about Resident Evil Vendetta, give my thoughts on it. A lot of people have been asking me to review the movie, to talk about the movie, so this is what I'm gonna do. Unfortunately, I can't go really into depth like I actually wanted to because this is YouTube. The second I put up some footage of this movie, it's gonna get claimed, unfortunately, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just gonna give my opinion, and if you, the Resident Evil fans out there, are going to enjoy this movie. So first off, I just want to say I love the past Resident Evil CGI movies. The CGI movies are awesome. They do amazing stuff. Their stories are amazing. Their animations are amazing. They're all great. But it seems like Resident Evil Vendetta, even though I feel like this is a good movie, it doesn't really match the quality of the past CGI movies, and this is very noticeable. It's not subtle at all. And what I mean by that is that this movie, in terms of animation, it has its high points. These amazing fight scenes, you know, the look on characters' faces as they're going through these fight scenes, it looks astonishing. I'm actually very impressed with some of the scenes in the movie. However, there are scenes that are noticeably bad. They're very bad, and it's mainly stemming from the character facial animations. That is where the only problem I see with this movie in terms of animation. You know, when you have these high points that are shown often throughout the movie, that's very good animations, there are these low parts, these parts that just, why is that angle look so weird? What makes this angle look weird? Why does his face look like that? Why does it look like this guy looks like a pedo in one scene but looks like a badass fighter in the other scene? It's very, very weird. So I don't really I don't appreciate some of the scenes in this movie. However, overall, judging it as one big package, it's a very solid experience watching it. There are some low points and high points, but putting it all together, it's just a great movie in terms of animation. But I want to talk about the characters as well, give a little breakdown on the characters. You guys know on this channel I love to do that. I love talking about character traits. It's kind of an obsession of mine. But one thing I did notice when they introduced Leon into the story, once Chris and Leon met up with Rebecca, it's the scene that we saw in the trailer with them talking in the bar. Basically, it was Leon drinking his sorrows away. And I found that part extremely interesting. At first I didn't like it, Leon drinking his troubles because his team killed, and him being like, yo, I'm just on vacation or whatnot. And at first I didn't like it because I felt like they're portraying this character as like a feel bad kind of character, super emotional kind of character. But then I remembered the type of person Leon actually is. Even Resident Evil 2, this guy was a heavy drinker when he had a lot of problems that he couldn't really seem to handle, that was very emotional. And I'm talking about, you know, the girlfriend thing. If you guys didn't know, and I don't blame you for not knowing because it's kind of like one of those hidden things that Capcom has came up with, but Leon in Resident Evil 2, the reason why he was late showing up for work as his first day as a police officer, and the reason why he was actually saved, was because his girlfriend had broke up with him the previous day, and he was drinking his troubles away, and he passed out in a drunken state in a hotel. That is the reason why he was late. A lot of you guys actually don't know that, which is insane. I'll put a link in the description of me talking about that. But he was drinking his problems away because of a very emotional situation, and this was the same thing in this movie. We found him drinking his sorrows away in a very emotional state, pretty much arguing with Chris as he's doing so. Chris trying to say, you know, stop it, cut the shit, it's too early in the morning for this, and Leon saying, let me do my thing, I'm on vacation. Also throughout the story, he's kind of saying that he couldn't even imagine his life like this when he was thinking about his life as a kid, and he seemed in this movie like somebody who doesn't want to take up the mantle anymore. Even during the end of towards the end of the movie, I'm not gonna spoil it, but he was still saying, why am I doing this? You know, where is there an end? There's no end to this, it's just a constant loop. And I really do like the way his character is going. At first, you know, with the days of Resident Evil 4, he was this confident person, and now he doesn't seem so confident anymore, and I feel like that's great. Rebecca, she's now a brilliant scientist. I like the way she went. You know, they don't completely exclude her from the world of Resident Evil. Now she's this renowned scientist rather than be a medic, and she explains why she made that choice in the movie. Chris, on the other hand, I think his character is pretty much consistent. I like Chris's character in this movie because it's pretty much Chris in like any other type of movie or game that he's ever been involved in. Chris is, you know, he's there. I found the part with the drinking scene again to bring that back up. If you remember Resident Evil 6, once Chris lost his memory after his entire unit was killed, he was also drinking his troubles away. So maybe he was really trying to get Leon to stop because Chris has been there in his shoes. So I found that really interesting, but other than that, it's not really to say much about Chris in terms of character quality. So yeah, those are the three biggest people, and I feel it's great. You know, I feel the way they portray the character is great. So there's that. Other than that, this movie as a whole, it didn't really have too much to offer. I did enjoy the past two CGI Resident Evil movies to be a lot better than this one. I'm not saying this movie is bad, but the other one was a bit better in my personal opinion. I feel the fight scenes were unprecedented though. The fight scenes in this movie cannot compare to the fight scenes in the first two CGI movies. This movie, in terms of the fight scenes, was just amazing. It was things that we'd never even seen before, which is fantastic. But I feel like those past movies were more embedded into story rather than these fight scenes. So I don't know, man. It's kind of a love-hate thing. This movie, its plot wasn't the best, I have to admit. Simply because I'm trying to make the right word so I don't just bash this movie for no reason. But the plot, it seemed very mediocre, and it was very predictable. That's where my problem actually comes from. Resident Evil Vendetta. The movie was extremely predictable. It was extremely cliche, I guess is the right word. Basically, you have somebody who wants revenge for something bad that happened, and then they had like a part where Rebecca gets kidnapped and she's taken as a bride because this person wants revenge, becomes obsessed. Again, it's a very cliche, very predictable story, and I feel that's where the only problem this movie lies, is the fact that it's a little bit too predictable. It gets the characters right, it gets the fight scenes right, animations were a little janky here and there, but overall they were just fine. But in terms of plot, I feel this is where this movie really lacks, I guess you could say. It really lacks in terms of plot. It's too predictable and cliche. And yeah, that's all I can really say about Resident Evil Vendetta. It was a good movie. If I had to give it a score, I would give it a solid 7. But and comparing it to the past CGI movies, not so much. The other CGI movies are 9s and 10s. This is definitely a solid 7. It's definitely not the best one that we've received, but I'm happy it came out. I had a lot of fun watching it. I highly recommend you watch it. You go enjoy this movie for what it is. It's very easy to find. Just Google Resident Evil Vendetta free movie online. It's like the first thing that pops up on Google. But anyways, I'm gonna be out of here. Thank you guys for listening. Deuces.